Hello, welcome back to the stream. It is July 7. Forgot what the 7th month was. And we got Bitcoin back to where we were last time we left off with a little bit of a bump up and down. We were at $108,000, 107 for the duration of the weekend, the long weekend. Friday, if you forgot, was Independence Day. So there is typically low volatility on those days. Saturday, no joke, even more low volatility. So we were expecting something to happen on Sunday, which it did. 6th of July in the morning, we saw a nice pump going all the way up to a high of almost 110,000 again. We hit a high of 109,676. From there, we came back all the way back down today. After some good news and some not so good news, but still fine nonetheless. It's nothing to cry about. We hit a low of 107,400 today, and now we've already recovered, and we're currently at hovering 108,148. I feel like I've been saying these numbers for the past three streams now, right? But it is fair enough. One of the pivot levels at 108,129, so that is a level that we are going to be magnetized toward most of the time until we make our breakout, whether that be to the bottom, a 2% drop, or a rise of 2% could take us right to 110,500 once again. We have a resistance at 111,200, which that should help determine where we will be heading next, of course. But from here, uptrend invalidates at 106,000. That is our floor. That is our support. I will quickly readjust this uptrend over here. We don't necessarily have a downtrend. I mean, technically you do, but it's practically just as simple as a resistance, which we can have that drawn at about 110,000 or 111,000, of course. In terms of liquidation levels, that is one thing I wanted to update on my chart. So I'm going to go ahead and not use this one. I'm going to use this one instead to try to figure out where we will be heading toward next. I'll use a 2-week time frame just to get the numbers a bit more clear. And this is for Bitcoin specifically. So you're looking at about 110,500 all the way to 112,000. I'm not crazy. Let's draw that out here. So I said 110,500 to 112,000. That is a big leap. Which is practically this whole zone, right? It makes sense. I used something different for this. I forget what it was. It had to do with the time range or something. Price range. From 110,550 roughly to 112. Yeah, around there. What does it say exactly? Should I even go that far? 112,050. I'll draw it out. 110,550 to 112,050. There we go. So this way we can kind of determine where we will be heading toward next. Obviously, that would mean that our resistance would be from 110 to 100. This $500 range, right? 110,400 downward to 109,900. I should have said it the opposite way, but you get the point. 109,900 to 110,400. Give or take $100, just round those up. 110 to 110,500 is a resistance. If we can break that, we're going to see a nice sweet rise of a 2% that will take us above 112,000 once again, which is, of course, our all-time high. 111,949 is our real all-time high. At least according to the chart that I see on BingX. It could be different for depending on whatever provider you have. Very slightly, though. The idea is still the same. And there you go. Toward the bottom side, it's nothing too significant other than below 105,000. That could immediately take us down to 102,000 range, right? That's not going to be too beautiful. Maybe above that. 105 to 103 could be, is where we could see a drop I'm going to draw it out too. 105 flat. Was it flat? What is the numbers here? Yeah, 105 flat. That's why I say 106,000 is a good support level where we could accumulate more to prevent price from dropping. But if something catastrophic happens, believe it or not, we are going to see a drop down to here. Did I say 103? Yeah, 103. So this is kind of what we see. Can I also not make this extend right? Coincidentally, of course, it would. It should coincide with this uptrend. But it's likely to break. But I don't think... It's going to take a while, though, if for something of that scale to happen, if it does happen, right? First of all, this uptrend would have to break. We'd have to test 106,000, and then that would have to break. We can drop again before we see super trend flip in our favor once again, which, you know, we would see something like this if price does end up dropping. Super trend will follow it until wherever we find our footing. That could be about 103,000 if that is the case, until we eventually start rising up again in price. And it would take us up forward from here. I'm hoping this is not the case, though. It shouldn't be the case. It's going to be very difficult for that to happen. I'm still feeling bullish for this week. There's, like, realistically no bad news other than just Trump and Musk going at it. Tariffs are not a thing that we're going to have to worry about. Maybe rate cuts and economic data, but most of it is already priced in. We already know that the money printer is gonna start printing very soon as well. So that's another thing we should be expecting. I do also hope that my mic is not peaking, by the way. I don't think it will. I'll review my own stream later. If it is, I'll put like a limiter on it or something, or a compressor. I don't know exactly what I need. Some different mic filter. Okay, so that's what we got in terms of Bitcoin. Things to look out for. Did I enter any positions ever since I last showed you? I don't think so. July 5. No, I did not. I don't think. I think I already mentioned I closed these two positions. This one was a terrible one. Paid 200 in commission, but it's whatever. Still made 100 profit. Nothing too crazy. That's my current balance. Okay. So that's what we got for Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. $2,535, down 0.70%. We reached a high of, is it 2,589? No, 2,604. And the low point of today, 2,511. So we hit this high over the Sunday morning, right? Or this is evening, sorry. 16 o'clock. That's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Afternoon then. And, I mean, we still do have an uptrend for Ethereum. It did get adjusted, the super trend, all the way to 2,404. That is where we do see a support level as well from pivots generated in this week, 2,408. So that should still maintain. We didn't fully get to break out from here this liquidation level. I will update this as well now that I'm on it. Let's have a look where we can see some sweet short squeezes. It's not looking that good. It's looking like more longs will get liquidated by the looks of things. A lot of people loading up on ETH as well. This is a major support, 2,364. I'll actually draw this down. I'm assuming it's this one, yeah. This low point right over here. If we drop below this, it's over. We're going way lower for Ethereum. I say way lower, but it's really like 2,300 is where we would realistically stop. Why 2,300? Just psychological level, it seems like. I'll draw it out anyway. 2,300. That's where we can see some liquidation event for longs would take us down here, approximately. Okay, and for shorts, let's see the top. 2,612, 2,692. It doesn't seem like too much is going on for shorts here, which is very counterintuitive. I do not believe that one bit. I'm going to go to a larger time frame. Yeah, it does seem like it is 2,640, 2,630 as well. There's a couple hundreds of millions of dollars to get liquidated, 2,600 plus. all the way to 2,688. We could call that 2,700. Do I have this already? 2,600. Yeah, I kind of do. I'll keep this what it's already been drawn over here to kind of keep track, right? It is pretty similar. We would expect something larger, I guess, that would break out of this downtrend is what it seems like is next. But for now, uptrend is still maintained for Ethereum, even though it's very, very tight and I have to readjust it still. We got enough breathing space if that is necessary to drop. We can hit 2,400. We will be fine. The uptrend does not invalidate from that level. We can still bounce up and continue with the uptrend. Next, I've got Solana down 0.98%. $148.85 is the current price. Over the weekend, we were hovering around these levels, 147. Sunday, we hit a high of 153.84. And today we hit a low of 147.61. So we're at 148, kind of recovering. This is a decent price still, in my opinion, to buy Solana. 140s is already a good point. I'm still trying to buy at like right over here, 143, which it still has not dropped to. I might have to readjust my positions. Maybe I'll take this support level from pivot, 144. That might have to be my entry, which, I mean, we hit those levels before. I'd probably regret it. Hey, if we do get a downward movement, even if we hit 141, we'll still be in an uptrend for Solana nonetheless. So that's fine, in my opinion. What else we got? Can I check resistance? Sol. I'm gonna have to go to 2-week chart just to see what's more recent, right? A lot of schlongs getting liquidated. Schlongs. 144. All the way down to 141 maybe. I mean, that would make sense, right? It's literally this. Well, this, right? All this area can get some longs liquidated, and we'd still bounce at 141 approximately. So that kind of does make sense. I will have to readjust this uptrend. I hate how recent it is, but yeah, I mean, realistically, something like this could still work. Hoping that we don't break below 144, because that could mean some further lower movements, a long liquidation event. And there's quite a bit of longs over here to be liquidated. It's nothing too crazy, but you know, I mean, compared to Bitcoin, it's not too crazy, but it's still, for Solana's case, hundreds of millions. That is a lot. It has a lower market cap, so it will have a greater impact on its price. In terms of shorts to be liquidated, nothing too crazy at 150s. I'm looking at this level, 156 to 158 approximately, which seems to be this area right over here, towards this resistance. If we do crack whatever this level is, seems like it's from this high, 156.294. That would easily take us to this 159 resistance level to see if we can break out of that higher. Otherwise, we're likely going to bounce from 159. So you could also point to the fact that 160 is a significant, crucial resistance, right? If we're able to break out of that. All right, moving on. XRP. Big movement today. We were hovering around 221 over the weekend. Sunday, we had our rise very early on. And just today, we hit even higher levels. Seems like this was a mass liquidation event. 230, of course, I've always mentioned, is a very difficult resistance for XRP to break out of. Once it did over here, first of all, it broke this downtrend, which I don't know if I should remove or just adjust, depending on how, if this is like the high point. We clashed right here with this resistance from pivot levels that it calculated quite precisely. 2.3530 was our high, 2.3531 was the actual resistance that it marked there. So I'd call that 99.9% precise. Since then, though, we have already came back down to 225. We're looking toward that pivot support at 224.92 you could round that up to 225 flat, right? I'm assuming shorts got liquidated on XRP there. Let me go verify this in the chart. Indeed, that was the case. Yeah, lots of shorts liquidated here. And then we've come back down from there. So now, of course, we're looking at 235 to 237 as our next levels for us to move forward, right? Although I don't think that we might see that. We could. There's always a chance. So I'll draw it anyway. That's about 235 to 237, I said. Some shorts to be liquidated here. All right, and we'll see how that plays out. Should take us higher. It must. Because this is indeed the downtrend that we have been focusing on for a long time. I don't want to have to readjust it here, pointing it toward the downside. But still, fear not, we do have XRP in an uptrend still. Super trendist level invalidates at 2.14. So we still got plenty of room. If I readjust this uptrend here, it actually looks like we're about to hit it over here and hopefully bounce upward again. But knowing XRP, it typically likes to do the opposite of what I tell it to do. 0% movement, exactly 0%. So there you go. If that's your favorite coin, I don't know what to tell you. SUI is at 285, down 1.23%. Not too crazy of a movement. We didn't break $3 like we did before last week. This week, over the weekend, Sunday, this was a high of 296. And then we dropped to a low of 282 just today. Now we're at 285. Pivot level is at 288 almost. So that's one level that we'll probably be hovering around. Super trend invalidates 270 and below. Do we even have SUI? I think we do. It's just really hard to find. I could search. Why am I stressing with scrolling through the list, right? What is this? 297 to 301. A lot of longs to be liquidated here. It's still not a lot, because it's like $20-30 million. That's not a lot of money. And I'm just saying this in comparison to something huge like Bitcoin, which is unfair to compare it to. But that's why it's important to note the differences between these two coins. Is the market cap, right? And this amount of money will have some kind of an impact on the market cap, on the price, to give it those movements that it typically has, right? So 282 to, what are these levels? I wouldn't count anything less than 10 million, so 278 to 282. 278 to 282. That's around this level over here, so we do have a support. It's pretty clear. That's the low point from today. And what was the other one? 278, I think I said. I'll draw that out. Longs could get liquidated here, and that could easily take us down there, in my opinion. I'm starting to think, could I start trading like this? Like, you know, breakouts? We know where the liquidity is if these maps are correct. You know, I could put like a trigger order at 282.75, drop $1,000 in there. I would use this as a short and put my take profit at the 278, probably a little higher than that. It's a $40 movement, nothing too crazy. I mean, it could work, but you're going to require a lot of patience, and you got to hit those levels precisely if they're going to get hit, right? Because, I mean, think about it. All these longs will be liquidated. They will be forced to sell up until this point. But keep in mind as well, there is a lot of buying power down here. People waiting with trigger orders for long if price continues to drop, because nobody wants to buy at a worse price. But I'm trying to take advantage of the quick drop over here, where everybody is either panic selling or getting their overexposed longs liquidated. Because, I mean, typically if you enter a position here, you put a lot of leverage on it, your liquidation is going to be very close, right? And we got a couple $1 million that would push this to my favor, ideally. right? You could say the same for the opposite way around. And I mean, it's pretty simple to determine that because a lot of people will also be following what you're doing with breakouts specifically, seeing like, oh, we have a clear resistance level over here. I'm going to put a trigger order. If we do break that resistance, take me higher. That's how a lot of people trade with breakouts, right? Here's an instance of that. Let's say we hit a high peak over here. Okay, I'm going to put a trigger order right over here. This is just an example, right? Stop loss, I don't know, risk reward ratio 1-to-1. I mean, that's perfect, right? It breaks out and continues higher. You make your profit. There you go. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe something I could do over here for short specifically. But then knowing myself, I'll probably barely miss that margin, and then Sui will skyrocket to $8 before I know it. But it's whatever. I mean, even if it does, like I could try it with just shorts only, because I've got a lot of long positions already in many altcoins. I am waiting for alt season, by the way. I've already sold all my positions in Bitcoin. Bitcoin will likely 2x, Ethereum 10x, altcoins could 25x still. They are very, very cheap nonetheless. So I still think it's a good moment to buy altcoins all the time. There you go. That's my little analysis there. Let's just quickly look at Litecoin. Terrible movement, honestly. Well, we hit 88 as a high on Sunday. And then today we dropped to a low of 85. Our current price is 85.84. Would have to readjust the uptrend. Super trend is right in line with the support level. So 82.75 is your support for Litecoin. This Fibonacci levels, you can ignore those. We're looking at these for resistance purposes, which worked over here at 91, works over here at 87, almost $88, right? The high that we reached on Sunday. There you go. Would have to readjust this uptrend still. Probably gonna have to wait until Tuesday to see what happens. Cardano, I mean, maybe even Tuesday, nothing happens. Cardano is still maintaining its uptrend very well. No readjustments needed, which is great. The downtrend was not able to be broken, though. I'll just simply readjust it here. But there's always a chance to try again. We have a pivot level at 57, so that is where we are currently hovering, 57 cents. Down 1.37% today. We reached a high of 59 cents on Sunday. Today's low is 57. Did I just say... Oh yeah, we hit 59 Sunday, and then yeah, 57 cents is our low for today. Support, super trend invalidation, 54 cents, 54.4, 54.3, 54.4, yeah. Why am I saying 0.4 after a decimal? 0.544 or 0.523. Gosh, I cannot talk. There you go. That's your key levels for Cardano. I don't think it's too relevant to pay attention to those resistance support levels because ultimately they can change at any time. Just going to readjust these drawings a little bit so that I know what to expect in terms of liquidations. This kind of makes sense, right? Price hits this, we're immediately dropping to there because of liquidations. It makes sense. I like that. I'm going to keep that as part of my drawings from now on. So enjoy them. I was looking at a coin to enter. It's already dropped. It was at 123%, literally so high up. It's already dropping a lot. Ooh, this is great. I could have entered, but I didn't really want to. First of all, it's a very low market cap coin, number 500 in the coin market cap. Seems like a really good project. They were trying to be, you know, allow for transactions like Ethereum, like literally every other coin, but without any gas fees was the idea. And it's got some major exchange listings as well. It looked like a good project. This is... don't make me try to remember the name. Vic. It was something. Oh my gosh. Of course it was something. I'm trying to remember the name of the actual project. Viction. That's what it was called. So, yeah. VRC25 token standard. for eliminating the need of gas fees during use. I don't know how they're going to achieve that, but it would be pretty cool if they could. All right. Yeah, 100% movement today, so good job for that. But shorts looking cool as well. The reason I also didn't want to enter, because that funding rate is so crazy, and it's every 5 minutes. One thing that I was trying to see was, could you outsmart this funding rate system? And the answer is no. You can't really outsmart it. First of all, you have to enter for at least 1 minute to receive that funding rate, right? So if I was going to enter long here, we've got about 5 minutes left. Why do we have 5 minutes left? Is it every half an hour now? It's supposed to be every 1 hour. This is not making any sense. I don't think this is right. I mean, it's 9:28 right now. What is it with the 5 minutes? 9:28 plus 5 minutes is a completely random number, 9:33. So, I mean, it should be 10 o'clock the next time it pays. It was on time for every other time I checked. Maybe I have to refresh. I'll refresh. Would you look at that? Now it says 7 minutes. I just went back in time. Time machine, time travel is real. What is this? Yeah, I know. Alright, never mind. So I decided not to enter that coin anyway. What is TGT? I do want to check out these other coins. It did reach over spot territory, so that's interesting. TGT looks, it sounds like Target. Isn't that Target's Tokyo Games token? What is this, Tokyo Games Fest? On a blockchain or what? What do you do here? Tokyo Games Foundation, Japan's #1 mobile game company. Okay, this is obviously a rug pull. It's been on the drop ever since here, and this tiny minuscule movement was enough to send it a 87% rise. The funding rate's pretty crazy, but it's at least every 4 hours, so that's not too bad. And I mean, the percentage is not that bad either. It's pretty bad still, but, you know, nothing too crazy. It's every 4 hours, though, which sucks. What else you got that's rising? FIS. What is FIS? Oh, that is non-stop on the rise. Starfi, number 900. I don't like that. Needs to be number 300 plus. Or above 300. You know what I mean. It's on Binance and everything. What do you do? Unlocking liquidity of staked assets. Proof of stake through Staffy. Did I say Starfi before? I meant Staffy. Staffy? Stafy? Whatever. Yeah, it's not worth it. ELD USDT. What the heck is this? And these are not too big of movements. Okay, that is not something I'm interested in at all. M-Box. All these random coins just rising. 600. Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Rex. I've seen a lot of Rex. Alpine. I've also seen Alpine before. I get notifications about it. I spelt it right. Alpine F1 team fan token. Alright, no, don't invest in those either. I mean, that's easy to short. I'm looking at these to short them, right? What's with the big rise? What is this Alpine F1? Cars? Formula 1, yeah, cars. Don't believe this whole technical stuff. Like, that has nothing to do. A token's not going to rise. A very low market cap token is not going to rise because of technical analysis. Like, that is just not. There's got to be some fundamental reason. Usually it's just whale movements. Very thin liquidity. This is it. Thin liquidity, whale concentration. Will buyers sustain momentum? No, we won't. Because you shouldn't pay attention to technical analysis at all here. This is all manipulation territory. It's on Binance. Alright. Yeah, no, it's too far. And it's already down a lot. I missed my chance. What are the funding rates? Oh, funding rates are positive. That's pretty good. And it's every 4 hours. That's pretty good too. Something to consider. Um, maybe if it rises again, I'll consider entering. But it seems like now this run is over. All right. You know what? That's all for this. Let's go into our news. Wow, I spent 30 minutes. We got a lot of news to get into. So I don't know how long this stream is going to be, but here we go. So Trump sent, you may have heard that he sent out a lot of letters. I've been getting a lot of, Truth Social notification posts that he's sending a letter to this country, to that country. He ended up announcing the following tariff rates today for Cambodia, 36%, Thailand, 36, Bangladesh, 35, Serbia, 35, Indonesia, 32, Bosnia, 30, Tunisia, 25, Japan, 25, and South Korea, 25%. The tariffs are set to go live on August 1st, and if anybody retaliates, you'll be met with increased tariffs. This whole August 1st thing, hey, you might be questioning, weren't we supposed to have these on July 9, which is 2 days from now? And the answer is, yeah, technically we were supposed to do that. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that Trump will be imposing April 2nd tariff levels on countries who do not reach trade deals with the United States beginning on August 1st, which means that, yes, indeed, the tariff pause has been extended from July 9th to August 1st, which that is indeed bullish for markets because we don't got to deal with that stuff. You know what happened on April 7th. You've been there, so it's not pretty. And of course, Trump also sends out a warning to the BRICS countries. Any company aligning with anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. I thought it was 100%. No. Okay, I remember. 100% tariff was going to be charged on BRICS countries that ditch the US dollar for trade. That was a different thing. But anybody who is just any country that aligns themselves, is what it says, with the anti-American policies of BRICS, you'll be charged with an additional 10% tariff, and there will be no exceptions to the policy. Thank you for your attention in this matter. There you go. It's a bold move to protect U.S. economic sovereignty. No exceptions. Signal a strong stance against geopolitical adversaries, echoing MAGA principles of America first. All right. This is the big case that literally everybody is talking about, and I'm sure you've heard of as well. Jeffrey Epstein. So, the case is now closed. The Department of Justice has concluded that they don't have any more plans to release any further documents related to it. That is it. The case is closed. The guy killed himself. Nothing to see here. And they also released video footage of his jail cell that day that he allegedly killed himself. They released a 10-plus hours long surveillance footage they say proves that nobody entered Jeffrey Epstein's cell prior to his death. You can see the full video on the official government website. But it doesn't show the cell. It only shows a tiny sliver of staircase leading to Epstein's wing. That's all we can really see right over here. I'm assuming it's this staircase, and Jeffrey Epstein's cell is like up here somewhere behind this, whatever this is. Looks like a duct. So obviously I didn't watch the full 10 hours. Sure, nobody did. But believe me, somebody did. And of course that is CoffeeZilla, and he noticed something really suspicious, is that there is indeed 1 minute that is missing from the Epstein security camera footage. The time stamp, you could see, it jumps from 11:58:58 to 11:59:59 and then 12 a.m. Why did they delete 1 minute of footage? But it's also like, okay, specifically at this time though, at 11:59 p.m., what happened during that 1 minute? It's he did show the video here. Yeah, it's a 5-second clip. It shows 11:58:56, 57, 58, 59, and it just jumps to 12 a.m. So it's like, okay, so what really happened? They obviously chopped that minute out of the footage. So now people are even more suspicious. Okay, the government is indeed trying to hide something from us. And we also have like literal evidence of the people working on the case, FBI Director Kash Patel, and the Department of Justice District Attorney, is that right? Pam Bondi. They were talking back in March. She said that the FBI has tens of thousands of Epstein videos. They released some documents, and then they, you know, ended up redacting like 90% of the information on there. So everybody's like, okay, well, this is a nothing burger. Give us the stuff without that redactation. Is that a word? And she said, okay, yeah, I have them sitting on my desk, right? Patel says that, yeah, no, that's, we see the footage, we're going to release it to you guys soon, and believe me, the guy did kill himself and stuff like that. And in July, now they're saying that there is no Epstein client list, there is no names, it was a suicide, and that's it, case closed. They have the tapes, now they have amnesia is what they're saying, so like, who is really telling the truth over here? What happened to the victims? There were victims, you're lying, and is it because Trump is on that list, like Elon Musk alleged before? We'll talk about Elon Musk's response to all of this. This just makes it look a lot worse for Donald Trump and his political party compared to what Elon Musk has been alleging and his new political party that he has started, the America Party. You see him already taking out his anger on X. Remember when Trump got elected, Trump said that he will release the Epstein client list if elected. And then now today, Elon Musk says, okay, well, anytime now, we're waiting for the Epstein client list, which obviously did not come out. Apparently there is no client list now. And he also posted this meme, we will release the Epstein list, we just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk, said Pam Bondi. And today, there is no Epstein list. It doesn't exist anymore. And that's what people are outraged about. Fox News also, who had Pam Bondi, who hosted her, saying that, yep, it's on my desk and we're going to release it soon. Those reporters were asking Caroline Leavitt about it. And, well, she's like, you know what? This is the case. There is indeed no Epstein list, right? So we're just going to have to believe them, I guess, now. But the people are not dumb, and they're noticing all this stuff. They're claiming that they're lying, and of course people are now more willing to side with Elon Musk. Like I said, this is just looking good for Elon Musk and bad for Trump, right? This is Trump's final stance on the whole thing. He said that the FBI, under the direction of Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, is back to the basics, locking up criminals and cleaning up America's streets. We have the greatest law enforcement professionals in the world, but politics and corrupt leadership often prevented them from doing their job. Talking specifically about this case, right? That is no longer the case, and now they have been unleashed to do their jobs, and they're doing just that. Keep it up, make America safe again. So, you know, that's the end of that. He's saying, you know, we could put this all behind us and the FBI can now focus on their real jobs, which is catching criminals, instead of focusing on a case of that people are, you know, they have a lot of conspiracy theories about. So there you go. This, I think, just adds more fuel to the fire between Trump and Elon Musk, about specifically in regards to politics, right? There's also more insults being thrown at Scott Bessent from Elon Musk, saying that he's basically a George Soros stooge who can't do math. And also, of course, in response to all of this, Donald Trump replied to Elon Musk, going completely off the rails, essentially becoming a train wreck over the past 5 weeks. I don't think I read this one yet, so I'll go through it all. Trump says that Elon wants to start a third political party, despite the fact that they have never succeeded in the United States. The system seems not designed for them. The one thing third parties are good for is the creation of complete and total disruption and chaos, and we have enough of that with the radical left Democrats who have lost their confidence and their minds. Republicans, on the other hand, are on a smooth-running machine that just passed the greatest bill of its kind in the history of our country. It is a great bill, but unfortunately for Elon, it eliminates the ridiculous electrical vehicle mandate, which is some percentage of electric vehicles must be sold by law from all dealerships. It's a quota, I guess, that they have to reach. Would have forced everyone to buy an electric car in a short period of time as well. I've been strongly opposed to that from the very beginning. People are now allowed to buy whatever they want. Gasoline-powered, hybrids, which are doing very well, or new technologies as they come out. No more EV mandate. I have campaigned on this for 2 years, and quite honestly, when Elon gave me his total and unquestioned endorsement, I asked him whether or not he knew that I was going to terminate the EV mandate. It was in every speech I made, and in every conversation I had. He said he had no problems with that. I was very surprised. Additionally, Elon asked that one of his close friends run NASA, and while I thought his friend was very good, I was surprised to learn that he was a blue-blooded Democrat who has never contributed to a Republican before. Elon probably was, also. I also thought it inappropriate that a very close friend of Elon, who is in the space business, run NASA when NASA is such a big part of Elon's corporate life. My number one charge is to protect the American public. So Trump is now attacking Elon through his companies. We've seen it done before, right? This is why by the way, I will pull up the Tesla stock. It has been dropping because of all this feud as well, mainly affecting Tesla. A lot of investors in Tesla do not want to see Elon Musk get involved in politics. So you'll notice, the stock of Tesla has just been on the drop and on the drop, currently at $295, the current price, right? We're sub 300 once again. So investors do not like what they're seeing. Now, this part about Trump is basically saying Elon is now against me because I'm against his companies. And I mean, Elon has done a 180 on me. I talked to him about this before, and he said, yeah, it's fine if you abolish my companies. And now that I'm doing it, he's getting mad. It doesn't make sense, is kind of what Trump's stance is. But then Elon Musk replies this: what is Truth Social? Never heard of it, right? So I had a full post about it. Where is it? I guess I deleted it. Awesome. Yeah, I guess I deleted it. Okay, never mind then. But yeah, it's like he's now trying to pretend that he doesn't know what Truth Social is. There is also, I heard a rumor about Truth Social, that it will start trying to become more like X, to a point where it's going to be like a competitor to X, to Twitter. Right? That, I mean, it's a good thing that I heard a rumor before that Twitter was going to merge with Truth Social to become one company, and that it would all be seen under the, Trump Media and Technology stock, right? DJT, which it would have been interesting to see, because back then that's when Elon Musk and Trump were very close buddies during the election thing, because, I mean, Twitter was the main hub of where a lot of Republicans and right wings were expressing their opinions and encouraging everybody to go vote for Trump specifically, right? But now, of course, with Elon Musk separating from Trump, and he will start his own party, it's all going to be a lot of propaganda for Elon Musk and a lot of anti-Trump stuff as well. And we're already kind of seeing that with this whole Epstein case. Everybody is clowning on Trump, on Kash Patel, on Pam Bondi for this whole Epstein problem, right? The list, okay, it suddenly doesn't exist. Well, what's going on? I guess Elon's the only one who tells the truth over here. So that's what it seems like. And now, of course, he's trying to downplay the popularity of Truth Social, saying, okay, Truth Social is this dumb platform, don't use it, use X instead. Of course he's going to say that. It's now basically a competitor to Twitter. So that's the reasoning, I guess, behind that post. A lot of people didn't take that very lightly, though. They say, okay, you're just being treasonous to Trump, I guess, is what they're saying. But I mean, they're already separated. They're not buddies anymore. We thought that their whole fight kind of calmed down after a lot of their posts were deleted in regret. But later on, we're getting this, so it's the same thing as if nothing happened. And people are saying, okay, well, now being a centrist apparently is considered a radical idea. How did we get here? Elon Musk says that the American Party is the solution. And among all this, that's not what's really important. Among all this, somebody asked Elon Musk, will the American Party embrace Bitcoin? Elon Musk replied, fiat is hopeless, so yes. There you go. It makes sense now. I shared a tweet before where people were talking about, why is Elon Musk never talking about Bitcoin anymore? Where's the Elon Musk of 2020 when he was all in on Bitcoin and Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and Pepe and all that stuff? Radio silence on crypto until very recently somebody said, well, maybe he's just silently stacking Bitcoin. And Elon Musk liked that tweet. And there was proof of that. It was the real Elon Musk liking that tweet. And so then, this sparked speculation. Is Elon Musk secretly accumulating Bitcoin? He's part of Doge. He wants to save money. He knows that government can print trillions at a time, and he left the Republican Party because of the one big beautiful bill that will raise the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. He says if you're raising the debt ceiling by $5 trillion, it's because you're going to add $5 trillion to the deficit. End of story. What's the only way to counter this? Something that would counter inflation, of course, the money printing, which is Bitcoin. With more fiat money that gets printed, the dollar devaluates, and Bitcoin will rise against that. And Bitcoin has proven to do so in the last couple of years of its existence. So it just makes sense for that. He's saying that he will embrace Bitcoin in his new America Party in that sense. So yeah, he's been receiving a lot of praise, I guess, for this whole fact that of his new party. More people are starting to, kind of see and understand, like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we kind of get it, Elon. We maybe will agree with you more. He says that he's going to represent the 80% of people in the middle and give back our freedom, is what he's claiming. And he's saying it's not hard to do that, so he clearly has some stuff in mind. He also posted this by a factor of 2 to 1. You want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the American Party is formed to give you back your freedom. He posted that on July 5, after the Independence Day, after making a poll on whether or not he should start it. People, we respect Elon, is what they say. A lot of them are Tesla investors, specifically this guy, James Fishback. But what Elon is doing by starting the American Party risks handing the keys of power to people like AOC, Hakeem Jeffries, Jasmine Crockett. That's a disaster for our country. They will impeach Trump. They will defund ICE. They will gut the Trump tax cuts, because you're basically splitting the views of Republicans here. It's not really Democrats, right? The Democrats hate both Trump and Elon, so they're obviously going to stay Democrat, right? We've seen all the Tesla protests, right? We see, the Trump assassination attempts. It's getting crazy. So obviously there's people that dislike both of them, and they will not vote for both of them. But the people who did vote for both of them, those people are now getting their votes divided. So there's only one way Elon can really pull this off, is by getting most, if not all, the Republican voters to vote for his new America Party. Basically replace the Republican Party, which is going to be really hard to do, because there's people who they're just full Trump, screw Elon, we don't care about that guy. And that's it. And it's just going to be like that. So you risk, right, dividing the party, because I still think it's like a 50-50 based off of what I'm seeing on Twitter. There's a lot of people siding with Trump. There's a lot of people siding with Elon now. I'm still on the fence here. Honestly, there's nothing that me specifically that I can do about it. I'm not American. I can't vote. I don't have a say in that. But I'm just seeing this from the sidelines. I don't like what's happening. I think it's better when they were both together, of course. We were much stronger united. But now you're kind of dividing it and splitting people's views both ways over, I don't know, maybe one or two issues. Like, just cope and seethe with one of them. I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, it's a disaster for Elon's own companies as well. Tesla, SpaceX, they won't be spared from the full wrath of government weaponization if this new party helps put Democrats back in charge. That's another risk, right? Is that with you splitting them up, you give way for the Democrats to arise again. The Democrats are loving to see this, right? You're literally seeing this very strong Republican Party just get split into half, and they know that that's not going to succeed very well. So that's, I guess, what they're seeing over here. Elon is free to do what he wants, of course, but Americans are also free to say, back off and we stand with Trump. Nonetheless, we don't hate Elon. We don't hate Trump. I don't think most people do. At least the ones that, are more right-wing. And yeah. That's just the stance of a lot of people. All right, moving on from geopolitics. Let's talk about crypto news. Michael Saylor posts this, and when he always posts this, he buys Bitcoin. But he didn't do it this time, and instead he changed the comment, saying that some weeks you just need to hodl. That means he didn't buy, and he posted this, which would typically signify that he bought, but he didn't. So he didn't buy this week, okay? Bottom line. He just instead shared this news that MicroStrategy reports $14 billion in total Bitcoin fair value appreciation in Q2 2025. That is pretty good. They also released, was it dividends, I think, or something to do with the yields that they offer for one of their micro stocks. I call them micro stocks. There's Strife or STR Strike. I don't remember what the other stocks are, but they paid something out to their shareholders. El Salvador still stacking Bitcoins. They just added 8 more Bitcoin last week, bringing their total holdings to 6,229 Bitcoins so far. They have 677 million. If you don't know, it's basically 1 Bitcoin a day is what they have. And they're almost at 1 billion, so that's pretty good. CZ from Binance just giving some general advice, saying if you want to get rich quick, you don't touch and you don't blame crypto. It's supposed to be a slow, long-term growth kind of thing, which I agree with. United Arab Emirates. This one was pretty interesting news. They were offering golden visas for ton stakers, people who buy Telegram's token, right? A ton cryptocurrency, Toncoin partners. They partnered up, with the United Arab Emirates to offer 10-year golden visas to ton stakers, which blends crypto incentives with residency perks. That's Web3 meeting real-world privileges. The specifics is, I forget how much. I think you have to stake it for like 5 years, something like that. You have to stake $100,000 in Toncoin. And it doesn't tell me for how many years. I saw another post. It was something like 5 years or something like that. Or was it 3 years? I don't remember. So, I mean, that's an interesting way if you want to get like a visa. Oh, it says 10-year golden visa. Would it be every year? I don't remember exactly, honestly. I could search it up. UAE ton. Trying to find out. Oh, it's for 3 years. Okay. And then you get the 10 years Dubai golden visa. You get to bring your spouse and family included. And $35,000 is what you have to pay as well, an extra fee on top of that. But hey, it gives incentives for people to stake their Toncoin, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that should be good for Toncoin. And also for crypto in general, because now more projects are looking at this and say, hey, we could do something similar to that. And matter of fact, CZ said that Ton's United Arab Emirates visa deal says that we will do the exact same treatment for BNB. So something similar is going to happen with BNB. If you stake a certain amount of BNB for X amount of years, you get a couple-year visa to live in the United Arab Emirates. Interesting way to get in there. They're, I think, really pushing to become the crypto capital of the world, unlike the United States. All they need is a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the United Arab Emirates, and they're golden, right? They're already doing stuff with like real estate and accepting crypto for payments, paying people in crypto, zero capital gains tax. It's really good over there. I just closed this for no reason. Ethereum. United States government deposits 218,000 Ethereum to Coinbase. Why? To probably sell. According to Grok, it says it was $218,000 in Ethereum, which was seized from NFT scammer Chase Senecal in 2022. It was transferred to Coinbase Prime, likely to liquidate it into fiat. That just means to sell it, right? This was also following a $10 test transfer. It aligns with standard practices for handling forfeited crypto assets, potentially for victim compensation or treasury funds. No official reason was stated, but it may pressure Ethereum prices short term. That did, of course, also have an impact on Ethereum. Right? We still are maintaining our uptrend still, but, you know, that was not too good news for Ethereum. Also part of the reason why we didn't rise too much. But also, like, $218,000, it's nothing to be scared about either. It's only $218,000. And also Trump. I thought he was supposed to be... The whole Trump family is supposed to be bullish on Ethereum or something. Whatever. Hey, this is good news, though. Tokenized assets under management on Ethereum has reached a new all-time high, so there's still a lot of usage on Ethereum. $5 billion per token terminal. That's pretty good. $5 billion assets under management with Ethereum. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is set to testify before the Senate on cryptocurrency legislation. Should be bullish in general for crypto. Bybit, RIP India, will charge users in India 18% GST on all trading and service fees starting tomorrow, July 7. That is today indeed. On top of the 30% crypto tax and 1% TDS. What is TDS? Alright, pal. USD1 is coming soon to the Bybit spot trading platform with World Liberty Financial. USD1 is a dollar-based stablecoin redeemable one-to-one by eligible users. Stay tuned for more. They're also adding this over here. And BitGet, another platform, is talking about possibly listing a 4-letter, one big trading game. They're listing a token soon. And people are speculating it could be World Liberty Financial. Because that just got announced. It will be listing soon. We didn't get a specific date. 4th of July is when, it was made official. Like, okay, it's going to be tradable soon, so stay tuned. It's kind of the deal. We did see some pre-market trading on MEXC and stuff like that. But other than that, we don't have any more news on when World Liberty Financial is coming. But BitGet hints that it could be July 10th. It doesn't say that specifically. People are just speculating. It's just saying a 4-letter ticker is coming out on there. WLFI is 4 letters. Could be that. It's highly probable. The controversial Big Beautiful Bill is passed, which sets the stage for the Genius Act and Clarity Act to pass smoothly in the coming days. Clarity Act is another one that will be coming soon. And launching before the bills are passed will provide early momentum. Once that is passed, these regulations could serve as major catalysts for World Liberty Financial's price surge, which I agree with, right? If you drop this on July 10 and then you pass those bills later, I mean, that's just bullish for the markets in general, and it will help the growth of World Liberty Financial. So if you want to make the most out of that growth, obviously release it before these fundamentals are passed and approved, right? If the market hasn't already priced that in, of course. Justin Sun posted this, and so did Trump Meme Coin. The Trump Meme Coin will be moving to Tron ecosystem. That is a crazy move. They are moving away from Solana and they're going to Tron. Now keep in mind though that Tron is on Solana now. So it's kind of the same thing as nothing, but it's just like, okay, Trump Meme Coin is going to use Tron's blockchain now instead of Solana. So I mean if you want some history lesson, the big rise in Solana to practically $300, its all-time high level that it reached in January, was thanks to the Trump Meme Coin releasing on Solana. It was literally just one night to the next. January 14, guys, Trump Meme Coin is now live. thanks to Solana. Go buy the Trump meme coin. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, a new Trump meme coin. And Solana pumped like crazy over here. It reached that all-time high, 295. And then from there, of course, it kind of died down. And this is where we currently are today, 148. And the Trump meme coin, of course, nothing much was done with it. We did get the Trump dinner, which is cool. You could buy in some Trump merch with the Trump meme coin. That's pretty cool as well. Other than that, nothing much happening. They're now shifting to Tron blockchain. That's all. Terms of other news, Grok 4 will be releasing, well, there's a release live stream happening on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9, 10, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, pretty sure. So that's good for, you know, Grok, Twitter. I like Grok. Grok is my favorite AI, probably. And the Grok 4 coming up, that'll be pretty cool. It's going to be smarter, faster, more efficient, more intelligent, more effective. Jack Dorsey also unveils a new program called BitChat, which is a new Bluetooth-based messaging app. You don't need any Wi-Fi, you don't need any cell service. The messages are peer-to-peer, up to 300 meters, and fully end-to-end encrypted. That'll be pretty cool. And it's a concept that I've thought of before, right? Like, why don't we have Bluetooth texting? I guess it obviously doesn't make sense if you're very long distance. That's when you would text. And if you're just within 300 meters of another person, I mean, you would text them normally, or you could just literally go up to them and talk to them, I guess. But this would make sense if you're, you know, in a public area that's large enough, right? Like I don't know, a stadium or a school or a mall. I don't know. That could be the case, but I don't see too many use cases for it, but it's something even I have thought of before, and I mean, now it exists, so hey, there you go. And last bit of news I have before we end it, TikTok, there you go. I'm kidding. TikTok will launch a new US-only app version on September 5th, which will help with the sale, especially of converting from Chinese companies from ByteDance over to American companies, because that was the big issue with TikTok at that time. And that is all for today. So not a lot of change for the markets. Well, Bitcoin is now on the way down a little bit, 107,645. We'll see how it plays out by tomorrow. For this week, I think we're getting FOMC minutes. That'll be important probably, if I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's happening Wednesday, sorry, at 2 p.m. We'll see what they talk about there in terms of the economy and rate cuts. It's what's currently driving the majority of the market's price action, right? Okay. Great. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. No, I won't. I'll see you Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday to see what the FOMC meeting stuff was about. All right. Take care.